In the U.S., stock index futures rose ahead of the open as investors grow confident that higher interest rates are underway. Around 4:09 a.m. Eastern Time, Dow futures rose 96 points, indicating a higher open of 92.61 points. The Nasdaq and the S&P 500 futures indicated a solid start to the session for their respective markets too. U.S. shares are also set to trade on key data releases. There will be jobless claims due at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time and consumer credit numbers at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. In corporate news, Vail Results is scheduled to publish corporate earnings before the bell, while Broadcom, DocSign, and Stitch are due to release their latest earnings after the bell. And in Asia, shares closed higher today with Japan leading gains in the region. That followed moves higher on Wall Street in the last session, which saw the Dow Jones Industrial Average close above 25,000. The Nikkei 225 advanced 0.87% as banking and other financial sector stocks advanced. South Korean stocks also gained, with the benchmark Kospi closing up 0.69%. Australia's S&P ASX 200 edged up by 0.53%. Greater China markets ended the day mixed. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index tacked on 0.65%. On the mainland, the Shanghai Composite closed lower by 0.2%, and the smaller Shenzhen Composite declined 0.63%. And back here in Africa, JP Morgan Chase & Co. is having one of its busiest years yet for African companies looking to trade their shares in both London and local equity markets, such as the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. The New York-based investment bank has seen interest from at least 6 companies considering dual listings. JP Morgan joined Citigroup Incorporated and Deutsche Bank, seeing a bigger pipeline of deals as economies across the region stabilize from a drop in commodity prices and growth pickups. South Africa, the continent's most developed market, is also seeing a round in investor confidence about after Cyril Ramaphosa succeeded Jacob Zuma as head of the ruling African National Congress in December and as president in the middle of February. And Sudan's central bank has started circulating new £50 Sudanese bills while withdrawing the old ones. The bank cited the spread of fake banknotes that have caused an increase in liquidity and pushed prices higher. Inflation in Sudan rose to 57.65% in April amid rising food prices and an ongoing fuel shortage. Prices have continued to rise as the value of the Sudanese pound has renewed its fall on the black market despite government measures to control spending and tighten liquidity. The central bank has not yet set a timeline for withdrawing the old £50 note, the highest value banknote. The pound now trades at an average of 29.27 pounds to the dollar in banks, but traders say they sell US dollars for around 38 pounds. And on our commodities market update, we are looking at gypsum, whose 90% are used in the building and construction industry, while the remaining are used in the agriculture and health sectors. Gypsum deposits also play an important role as a pathfinder in the petroleum industry by virtue of the fact that the organic material commonly associated with its formation is considered a source of hydrocarbon generation, and its deposits act as seal for petroleum reservoirs. Nigeria currently has a gypsum demand gap of over 600,000 tons. Let's talk more about this commodity with a research analyst with financial derivatives company, Adedayo Oguniro. Hello, Adedayo. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, Chimese. Thank you for having me.
Right. So gypsum is a critical ingredient for cement manufacturing, which is widely used in construction. Nigeria's construction sector contracted by 1.5% in the first quarter of 2018 from a 4.1% growth in the fourth quarter of 2017. What has been the trend for domestic cement production and gypsum demand so far in 2018?
Gypsum is one of Nigeria's numerous mineral commodities. The country has over 1 billion tons reserves of it, and it is mainly found in states like Sokoto, Adamawa, and Bauchi states. So it is used across several sectors of the economy, and the commodity has gained much commercial relevance in recent years. Take, for example, in the agricultural sector, it is used to make fertilizers. In the health sector, it is used to make plaster of Paris. And in the cement industry as well, it is also a key ingredient for making cement. So actually, like I said earlier, about 90% of the domestic consumption of gypsum in Nigeria goes into cement production, and the cement, which is the final output, is used by the real estate sector and construction sector. So these two sectors declined. Their performances dipped in the first quarter of 2018, and that was actually not a surprise. Why? Because real estate is a lagging indicator, and in the first quarter of the year, we usually see a decline in aggregate spending, because consumers are just recovering from the spending in the fourth quarter of the previous year. So construction, we've actually seen less construction activities. So in the second quarter as well, the second quarter which starts the rainy season, we've actually seen less construction activities due to disturbance by rain. So in spite of the construction, the contraction, I beg your pardon, in the construction and real estate sectors of the economy, domestic supply of cement actually did not show much reaction. So, for example, outputs by Dangote Cement and Lafarge, who are the biggest players in the Nigerian cement industry, were relatively flat in 2017, the first quarter of 2018. So that's it's also then. So the domestic demand for gypsum too did not really show that it did not have much of an impact on domestic demand of gypsum.
Okay, if Nigeria becomes self-sufficient in gypsum, what will be its impact on Lafarge and Dangote?
Okay, so Nigeria currently has an output, a gypsum output of 800 tons, very low compared to reserves of over 1 billion metric tons. So, and investment in this particular sector is usually capital intensive. So we've actually not seen much investment in the area. So, yeah, if Nigeria would attain self-sufficiency in gypsum production, it would be imperative that we see some investment by foreign investors and domestic cement manufacturers in form of backward integration. So what this would mean is that Nigeria's import bill, the broad macroeconomic impacts of this, if Nigeria attains self-sufficiency, is that its import bill is going to decline. In 2017, Nigeria spent about 19 billion naira to bring gypsum into the country. As well, on Lafarge and Dangote Cement, the percentage, the proportion gypsum account for is in their imports bill is going to decline as well.
All right, thank you very much for your time, Adedayo Oguniro, one of the research analysts with Financial Derivatives Company. Still ahead on the program, the need for digitization of financial services. Do stay with us.